Hello, welcome to this evening's version of or episode of Stark Financial Group's mentor group meeting. Tonight we're going to talk about the NDA and the classroom and kind of navigate some of the stuff there so I can show you guys how that's all done. So we'll just start getting into it with the I got this thing's dark. Um, we'll start with the NDA. Um, so basically where this came out of is that somebody that has recently joined the group came in and paid his fee and then said, "Well, I've seen all this material already." And he apparently was in another group and there was somebody from our group was sharing everything. So I kind of locked everything down and made some adjustments here. So this is the NDA. Now, Alex, you already signed a different version of this earlier, so you don't have to do this again. And Jovan, you've already signed yours, so you're good. But everybody in the group, you will have to sign this. If people refuse to sign this, then they will be removed from the group with no refunds. So this is basically a confidentiality and propriety materials agreement. It's to understand that not all the content that I share is mine, but the process that I share, the way that I put everything together is mine, and that's what I'm marketing and that's what I'm sharing with everybody. And so once you're in the group and you've paid everything and you learn this process, you can share it with others, right? It's not saying that you can't share it. What you can't do is take screenshots and my documents out of my group and send it somewhere else. Okay. So basically, it just goes through and Stark Holdings Business Trust is the entity that owns everything, right? I don't own anything. The business trust owns all the LLCs. So I have roughly five LLCs, and each one of them is a private ownership of this company. Okay. Stark Holdings Business Trust is the lawful owner of the certain propriety or intellectual property, including but not limited to frameworks, methodologies, written instruments, business systems, templates, strategic materials, branding elements, and related works. Um, Something that I'll share with you about equity is that when you use ink, right? You use paper out of your desk and you take a pen and you write on that piece of paper with ink. That ink on the paper becomes your intellectual property, right? So any time that I create something with ink on a paper, and even if I share it electronically, automatically becomes intellectual property, right? So that's why in court cases they say whoever created the document owns the document. That's because the paper and the ink came from them. All right. Uh, Client may receive access to certain proprietary materials in connection with services provided by Stark Financial Group or other authorized operating entities utilizing intellectual property owned by the trust. Ownership of all proprietary materials remains exclusively vested in Stark Holdings Business Trust. Nothing in this agreement transfers ownership of any intellectual property to a client. Client is the recipient of services. Nothing contained in this agreement shall be construed to create an employment relationship, partnership, joint venture, fiduciary relationship, or agency relationship between the client and the trust. Client shall have no authority to bind trust to any respect. Um, so when you sign something that says by so and so, right, you understand that you're signing for the corporation. So that's why we use by Stas Alex, right? Is because as a as an employee of the corporation in the United States, you can sign for the corporation. That's why this is in here, right? So that nobody else can bind authority. Confidential information includes business strategies, financial data, trade secrets, frameworks, and proprietary methodologies. templates and written instruments, system architecture and processes, digital content and databases, branding materials, client and vendor information. Confidential information may be written, oral, electronic, or otherwise recorded. Clients agree to maintain a strict confidentiality to all confidential information, use confidential information solely for the purposes related to services received, not disclose confidential information to any third parties without prior consent, not copy, produce, publish, distribute, transmit, or otherwise disseminate confidential information except as expressly authorized. Trust grants client a limited, non-exclusive, non-transferable, non-sublicensable license to use proprietary materials solely for the intent purposes directly related to services rendered. This license does not permit resale, does not permit redistribution, does not permit public posting, does not permit teaching of commercial exploitation, does not permit derivative works. All rights are not expressly granted, are reserved by the trust. Client shall not commercially replicate trust frameworks or systems, teach or resell proprietary materials, create derivative products based on proprietary materials, share materials with competitors, or use proprietary materials to create competing services, right? There's still nothing in there that says that you can't take the work files once you have them and once you use them and share them with other people. It's just saying that what I share with you, what I teach you, what I want you to try and bring people in instead of like start your own thing, right? It's supposed to stop the competitive nature where they're like people are out there competing with what I'm doing, right? Return or destruction upon written request, the trust or termination of services shall return all proprietary materials, permanently delete electronic copies, certify in writing that no copies remain. Okay, so let's just stop here for a second. Okay. At what point does this go from my proprietary information to your proprietary information? You guys with me here?
When you put your wet ink on it.
That's right. That's right. So when you create a trust, first of all, the Rourke materials is Rourke's. I'm not selling his materials, right? So you can use those materials when I give them to you, right? I'm not I'm not trying to cover those. And then when you take those materials and the instruction from me and you create your own trust and put the ink on paper and sign it, that's yours. That's not mine. Okay? But when I'm sharing my stuff that I've worked hard and stuff that I've created and whatever, and say, hey, this is what I did, that's mine. But you can take that process and put it on paper and then it's yours. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it. I didn't
So,
realize I was
so
was just two of us
why,
on here.
yeah, so like why do they tell you, like one of the things that I'm going to instruct you to do in this program is that did not take a bond off scribed and put your name on it and send it to the treasury. Why?
You have to make it unique and make it your own so
Right.
that there's a creativity involved in the
Put your
process.
watermark on it. Use your colors, use your
Yeah.
paper, use your ink, use your own border. Do something different than everybody else, right? So that's what I teach in the acquisitions part of this is I teach you guys that it's not just about getting money, right? You got to create it. You got to make it your own, right? So, we're almost done with this. It's boring. Um, all right. Trust shall be entitled to immediate injunctive relief, specific performance, monetary damages, recovery of profits derived from unauthorized use, recovery of enforcement costs where permitted by law. These remedies are cumulative and not exclusive. Okay. Um, Dispute resolution, any dispute, claim, or controversy arising from this agreement, including the breach, determination, and enforcement or interpretation thereof, shall be resolved exclusively through the binding arbitration administered by the American Arbitration Association under the commercial arbitrations rules. So it's basically if there's an issue, then, and this is like good for you guys because you can take this instrument that I've created, put it in the AI, and tell AI to create one for you, right? And then you understand this that if there's a contract dispute, you don't go to court, you go to arbitration. So each party pays for their part of the arbitration. You go in front of an arbitrator and you say, this is what our concern is. And then the arbitrator says, this is what this is how I see this. This is how I don't see it. And then both parties can part with a smile on their face, right? That's the idea. That never happens that way. But governing law agreement shall be governed and construed in accordance with the state laws of Georgia. That's where I live. General provisions, entire agreement. This agreement constitutes an entire understanding of the parties in respect to its subject matter. Amendments and must be in writing when signed by both parties. Servability. If any provision is found unenforceable, the remaining provisions shall be in full force. Waiver, failure to enforce any provision shall not constitute a waiver. Obligations contained in 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 shall survive termination of services and shall remain in effect. And then it's signed. So that is basic agreement, right? And then when I had you guys sign it, this is the program I use. This is called Pandoc. This is one of like 100 programs that'll do this. And so basically what you do is you go into here, right? You create a new document, and then you set it up as a template. And so this document is a template, right? And then you go create document, and then you just add the people that are going to receive it, and then you send it. Um, and now I'll show you. Here's the ones I've sent. You got people viewing them, you got people completing them. There's 3 that are sent that haven't been looked at yet, or a bunch of them, right? So then you know who's done what. That's why I don't need you guys to send them back to me because all I have to do, and we'll just go to one of y'all that's in here. So it just has the agreement and everything you filled in on it and the names, right? And then, it's got both their signatures and then it shows as completed and then I can download it. So that's basically how you use that. That's a pretty simple program to use. DocuSign is actually a little easier, but DocuSign sucks because I think it's in order to do what I did with this company, it cost me like I think it was $15 a month. With DocuSign, it's like 45. So when these companies get like a lot of attention, then they kind of go out of proportion on their prices. So just shop around at what works best for you, right? So then we're going to go through this. And this is to show you guys what changed. So I deleted basically all the content and videos off. And this is the classroom. Okay. So if you go down here, you go to 1, right? So at the top, you're going to see stream. So stream's going to be the videos, right? So this one, lesson 1, this is the video for lesson 1. And then you go into the classwork and it'll tell you which scriptures to read and what to do. Okay. And then you go to lesson two. There'll be a video for that one. And then the classwork, right? And three, and so on. Four. And then once you get into five, then it starts to get in. This is where I've broken things up a little bit, right? So the first module is trust. Then the next module is the bonded promissory note. Then the next module is debt discharge. Then the next module is car loans. Then the next module is mortgages. And so all the videos will be broken down in each module, right? So you don't have to go like searching through everything now to find what you're looking for, right? And then this is the sole prop stuff, right? And then the 1040s. So it's not just going to be 1040s in here. You're also going to have all the videos for the frivolous filings and all the other stuff that we've done, right? And then the living revocable trust, the name change, and then the last, when you get to this port 14, this is administration, where we get into how to administrate the trust and how to use the different things, right? Now I'm in the process of getting everything uploaded here, so it's going to take me a little bit, right, to get all the content in here. But this is where you're going to go, and this is what you need to use in order to work through them. This is going to be set up so that you have to do lesson one to get to lesson two. You have to do lesson two to get to three. You have to do the three to get to four. So I'm hoping that this is going to make it a little bit easier for you guys to work through it, because the amount of content that I'm putting out there for you guys is a lot, right? I'm taking stuff that I've learned from 10 gurus and I'm tying it together so that you guys have a well-rounded roadmap of how to get through this, right? And until I did that, what was happening is that we just jump from guru to guru and we just start throwing paper at everywhere, trying to figure out what works and see what sticks on the wall, right? Well, I'm just trying to put it through a step-by-step process so you go through each step in order to get to the end of it. Now, there's tons of companies out there that will take your money and do this all for you. But at the end of the road, when you're done, and I think the one in New York City I saw was $16,000 to get you through the whole thing. But the problem is when you pay somebody 16 grand to do it, you still don't know what the fuck it is. You still don't know how to talk. You still don't know how to go to court. You still don't know how to do any of that or administer a trust. Or, like right now, I'm navigating some court cases and I have to come in the capacity that I am in that case. So for like the Replevin case, I come as the trustee of the trust. But I also have a tort claim where I'm coming as the individual, right? Or there's another one where I'm trying to get titles from a bank where I'm coming as uh, the employee of the company, right? So you have to be able to work through this and learn how to use each capacity the right way. So when you get into administration, that's what that's going to be about. So there's going to be less fluid conversation on Telegram, although we're still going to communicate there. But the main bulk of all the information that you're going to collect is going to be in the classroom. And it's going to be put out there in a way so you can go through each stage and know what you're doing. And then you can ask questions. Like you can go right in here. I don't know if you guys have been on the classroom yet, but you can go right in here. Let me find, I think it was.
And Kent, while you doing that, can you add me to all those classrooms, please?
To the what?
Or after the call or whatever.
Add you to what?
All those classes.
Hold on. I'll do it right now. Can you see the chat? Do you see that classroom, Jovan?
Yeah, I got access to it, to the
Okay, so
chat.
just click on that and you get in there. Now make sure when you're using the emails in this, you're using one with your name on it. Okay. because a bunch of people are using emails with some fucked up name on it. I don't know who you are. And so if I don't know who the people are, I'm going to kick them out. Right. So have some way of identifying yourself. Maybe another way, if you don't want to like change your email, you can go in here, right? And you can just type a message, right? You can go in here and you can go to new announcement, or you can go under something and you can write comments. And as soon as you write a comment, I get an email. So another thing is I'm going to start using this, if you can see this. So I go in here and I can see everybody that joined, right? And so then I can click this and I can email all of you at once. So I'm going to
Nice.
start doing that so that you guys can, so that you guys can be engaged in the classrooms. And I want you to like talk amongst each other in there, right?
Google.com.
Right. So um, I'm not doing the grades thing because it's really not a graded thing, but um, so anyway, just start using that and going through the stuff and see how it works for you. If you're having issues or whatever, just feel free to send me a Telegram message or whatever, and then we can like do a call or something. But you should be able to get through them. There's not like any more shit to do. There's not like any more content. There's not like there's any lessons. It's like not really anything different than uh than what we were doing. It's just going to be more structured in the classroom. So I think this will move a lot smoother.
Cool. Yeah, that's much more organized. I like
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And yeah, I'm going to set it up so that you have to do the last module to get to the next one because they're
Okay.
all written in an order, right? In a specific order.
Uh-huh.
And like everything goes into the next one.
So
So
you just operate off of this to-do list on the top left there and just start doing one, two, and then
yeah, most of you guys have already done 1 through 4,
yeah.
right? And so then you would start with 5. And then like this trust workshop stuff, you guys were all in the meetings for that. I don't think Alex was here then, and I know Jovan wasn't, but I think you were, Santos. So those are just repeats. Like you've already seen these. I just moved them, right? But like the bond and promissory notes, a lot of people have issues with that. So
The bonded promissory note, that's part of the
acquisitions.
other trust, right? The
Yeah, so
trust.
once you get well, no, the bond and promissory note is you personally, right? It's how you create money.
Right. I understand that, but that whole process is part of the trust, like outside of the mentor group, that other purchase that you got to make payments on or whatever.
No, that isn't until you get to the advanced trust group.
Okay.
And so that's like lesson 10, 11, 12, because lesson 9 is the mortgages. And so that pretty much ends with the old stuff. And there's some of this stuff that's like Q&A and like I called it Total Request Live. I did a couple of those. Um, So anyway, that's about all I had for this meeting for tonight because I wanted the people to start to move in that direction. So you guys go ahead and like start working through that. And if you need some help, send me a message and we'll go from there, okay? You guys have any more questions? I don't know what that you're missing
No, you
module two
see my
through
message in
nine.
the chat.
Jovan, yours says missing 2 through 9.
That means you didn't complete the lesson. You have to complete the lesson to get to the 2 and 3 and 4.
Yes.
Right. That's why the other ones won't show, right? You got to finish two to get to
Right.
the third, and so on.
Yeah. So all you got to do is send me a email or a message and say, hey, I completed one, and then I'll open up the next one for you.
Okay. Okay.
All right, too easy. Thank you.
You guys have any immediate questions? Any more immediate questions about this? I hope it's a little easier for everybody to navigate.
I think it is. I think it's a great improvement. I think it's super fluid. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I don't have a question about the classroom, but I have a suggestion for probably another class.
Okay.
I want to know how to create the collateral write-ups for UCC ones, like after we complete the SPC, like for the trusts and different things, like um, LLCs, trusts, whatever you add to the UCC file. Because I'm still sort of like I saw your information, but I want to actually understand how it's created, how you create those write-ups.
Okay. I'll do a AI
Do you
thing
understand what
and
I'm
I'll put
saying?
together, yeah. So I'll do an AI thing and I'll put together a class for it. Okay. I'm also going to do the silver
Okay,
bond.
that works.
That silver bond thing I just showed you guys, the transfer I got done. That thing does like 10 different things. So I'm going to do a class on that too, so you guys understand what that is. But that's like the advanced trust stuff that once your trust is done, that's how you convey things into it. So
Cool.
I did two things with that. I brought the silver bond into trust and then I put my trust on the record in Georgia. So now it's uncontested. So the longer it's on the record, remember this, what I told you guys about reliance. The longer something's on the record and the more people don't respond to it, the stronger estoppel becomes. It's how you ripen estoppel. So I'll go through that too. I got that on my list too. So you guys got anything else?
Can I also add
Yeah.
something?
Go ahead.
We may benefit a little. Yeah, I got some. We may benefit for like more classes on correcting our status. Like one class would be for obtaining state national passport or U.S. national passport. Another one on how to rescission voter registration and driver's license and any other adhesion contracts.
I'll do that
That
in the
would help.
free. I'll do that stuff in the free group because
Can we do that?
that's stuff that's
That's
like,
like suggestions for possible things.
yeah, I'll do that stuff in the free group.
That's like preliminary stuff that we
Yeah,
need to
that's
do.
before this mentor group stuff. That's SPC.
Okay.
Cool.
So
Hey, if you can add, this. So just a wild card, just throwing it out there. Um, Gotten jury duty notices or whatnot. Um, do you do jury duty?
no, they don't ask me to. But that's all connected to voter registration.
If you
Okay. I'm
rescission
trying to
your,
figure out how to get out of that.
You got to rescission
yeah,
it.
I was about to say
Mm.
that.
You
If
have
you
to
rescission your
rescission your
voter
voter
registration,
registration.
you're getting off of that list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you guys how to do it.
I'm gonna give it you offline. Yeah, I'm gonna give it you offline to figure out how to do that.
And also maybe on how to obtain like post office box address. There's some other addresses than where you reside for like trust purposes or any other stuff, so that you're not commingling
Yeah.
your information between trusts and different entities that you represent. That's also like a part of a status correction process.
Yep.
I think we discussed it in some of the videos, but I think they were deleted or
No, I'll get them
maybe we
out
need to
there.
renew that
I
information.
have all the videos. I just got to get them in the right spots.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get off here and we'll continue just working through this, okay?
Okay.
There seems to be
All
a
right.
lot a
Thanks, Ken.
long lag or
Thank
something
you,
right now.
Ken.
I don't know.
Okay, thanks.